I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club.
Hi.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
That did not sound very confident, actually.
I was like, I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound real. I'm gonna say this and it's gonna be like, oh yeah, she's fine. And then it started coming out and it was not fine.
Got caught.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you are okay, but like everyone around you is not okay.
Yeah.
And then it makes you like less okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It feels okay. Yes. The retrogrades are retrograding. The eclipses are eclipsing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're coming out of it.
I think so too. And I can't wait because I want to talk about this in our Why Though segment.
Yes, absolutely. We will do
which
that
we're
for
going
you.
to do very shortly. Mm-hmm. But even before we do that, I want to tell everybody out there that this is a What the Cusp episode. Mm-hmm. Taurus-Gemini edition.
Oof.
Which we have feelings towards.
Yeah, we have feelings towards
We
this.
have some feelings towards that. So, we'll get to that. Before we get to that.
Yeah.
We have some why, though, to discuss. Because we are feeling things about that, too.
Yeah. I have found myself multiple times this week asking why, though.
Yeah.
Like, more about why other people are acting the way they are.
Yeah, I can say very similarly, like, echoing that. Like, I feel okay.
I feel okay.
But I feel like other people, I'm like, you are not okay.
Yeah, like
and
you are
not
not.
you're fine.
Yeah. Same. I'm like, I'm doing fine. You know, there's things coming up, whatever. But I'm like, you don't seem like you're fine.
Yes. And I'm like, you need to do something about it.
Yeah. Just a lot of dysregulation.
Yes, and I'm like, don't bring me that.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't bring that to me.
I know. And I feel like it's also because we talked about it and prefaced it so much the last time we were here in this space and talking about it that I was like, I'm ready for this. I'm prepared for this. I'm going to be fine. I was ready. And I talked about, you know, what my plan was for the lunar eclipse, everything else. I had that down, and I feel like maybe it's just other people were unprepared and didn't know.
Well, I think that's true. And also I want to say you did a very lovely thing for the eclipse, and
thank you.
it was so lovely, and you posted a really beautiful thing about it. So anyways, I think you did an amazing job, and you are amazing. And
Thank you.
everyone else out there is struggling in their retrogrades and struggling in their eclipses. Although also, you know, we are coming out of it.
Yeah, we're coming out of it.
I mean, we're not well, no, we are. We're coming out of Mercury retrograde too.
Yeah, we are.
So we're kind of going back over. So anyways, let's get into the why, though.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which, funnily enough, we're not even going to talk about Mercury in the why, though, because we're like, whatever. Mercury, do your thing. We are going to do our thing. So what do we have to talk about? We have to talk about May 16th, Jupiter enters Taurus.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. Yeah. And it's moving from very fiery, passionate Aries.
Yes.
Which was giving us, I feel like, it was giving, like, a lot.
Always.
Like, just this, I don't know, drive and this forwardness and this sort of, like, very, like, impassioned kind of vision and stuff like that. And now, you know, we're moving into Taurus, which is a very different energy.
Absolutely. And, you know, Jupiter is in a sign for about a year.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a way to, you know, semi-forecast the year ahead in terms of that energy and sort of this. And I can attest, I feel very personally, like I have a busy year ahead too, but the last year was just full of stuff. And now I feel like the stuff just needs to unfold, which I feel like is very Taurus energy.
That's so true. What a good point.
Yes, thank you.
And now that you're saying that, I feel a little bit better about it, like even in 2024. Because I'm like, oh, okay, that probably means that things are going to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more comforting, not as just like intense. Not that the intensity is bad and we've been enjoying it and will continue to for a while. But I'm happy for that.
Yes, no, I'm happy for that too. And I think there's a very like enjoy the ride energy in this Taurus kind of vibe of like, you're still going to be on a ride, on a roller coaster maybe. Maybe it's not as extreme of a roller coaster. It's just kind of coasting along and just enjoy the ride.
I love that. I also... Jupiter's going to be squaring Pluto on the 17th.
So right away is out the gate.
Right away. Yeah. As we said, Pluto's going to come up in these stories.
Pluto is squaring like everything right away whenever it's changing signs.
Yeah. So that's going to happen, but that's okay. Just, lean on that Taurus energy. Lean on those creature comforts like you mentioned one of the times. Yeah, just just focus on the seeds that you're planting and the groundedness of that Taurus energy and let Pluto just be its thing.
Yeah.
Out there.
I know.
The Pluto report.
Yeah,
what did
exactly.
We say? The Pluto report.
Hello, Pluto. Are you there?
I'm talking to you.
Or okay. No, whatever. I respect Pluto. I have mad respect for Pluto.
Yes, of course. But still.
But also, shh. That was perfect.
I love that.
Oh, I love it. So I think even more adding on to what I feel is a very busy, good energy week ahead.
Yeah.
The new moon is in Taurus.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on May 19th.
Yeah.
That's a very nice energy.
Yes, I'm liking that.
I like it too.
Yes, we love a new moon.
Well, we love a new moon.
We're new moon stands.
That's true. That is true.
Love a new moon.
But, every month the new moon is in a different sign.
Right.
And it's in the sign that the sun is in at the time.
Yeah.
So this is the Taurus new moon. So it's special.
I like it. And especially coming off of the full moon in Scorpio and that lunar eclipse and kind of that same axis, I feel like this is the counterbalance to that.
Totally.
That dredged up all kinds of stuff, which is probably the after effects of what's going on right now, which is why people aren't okay.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's what it is.
Yes, because they were not prepared for it.
We're not prepared. And that's an intense thing, a very intense thing. And if you're not prepared for it, that's a doozy. So, yeah, so I think this is going to feel nice. It's going to be that really nice polar opposite, and I feel like it's a good fresh start opportunity.
I totally agree, and just sort of looking at specifically that Taurus energy can be a lot about career. It can be about relationship in a certain way.
Yeah.
So just looking in those areas of life, and maybe that's kind of some of the new beginnings that you might think about beginning.
Good advice.
Yes.
Good advice. Thank you. Love that.
The next big thing, and this is what I'm very excited about. So on the 20th, Mars enters Leo. So I'm really thinking about this as an early start to hot girl summer.
Love this.
Because we are seeing your actions, which is Mars, becoming glamorous and generous and bold, which is all that Leo energy. Can't wait.
Love to see it.
I love this.
We're ready.
I love this.
We're ready for that.
Yes.
I'm ready for that.
Yes, I'm so ready for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we said that last time, right? We were like, it's soft girl spring, but we're heading into hot girl summer.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the ushering in of it.
So great.
Because we're also going to have Venus in retrograde in Leo. We're also going to have, it's going to be a lot.
You're like, that's a retrograde. I don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite retrograde.
You're like, go over it again. Tell me how beautiful I am again. Okay, good. Again.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. I'm like, one more time. All right.
One more time. It feels so good. I just love to see it.
I can't wait. It's going to be so amazing.
Doing hot girl shit.
Hell yes, all the time.
I love it.
All the time.
It's amazing.
I know, exactly. So I love this. And that's, like I said, I feel like it's a little bit of a busy week, but I feel like there's some super good energy coming in, and I'm so excited.
The other thing I just want to mention is...
Oh gosh, yes, you have a really... Yeah.
After Jupiter goes into Taurus, then every planet except for Pluto, okay, again, Pluto's getting brought up. Oh, jeez. Every planet is going to be in a night energy sign.
Yes, which is so amazing.
Tons of just intuitive, deep energy, and I love that. And so that's really a good time to, it's, there's literally no day energy present, so it's a good time to really just lean on that intuition and really hot girl summer, really lean into that
until Mars goes into Leo, which really is the kickoff to the hot girl summer,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So, but we're having this really lovely period right before that of this like reflective, intuitive, beautiful, like sort of the, you know, you think of like masculine and feminine being, or, you know, those terms that we use, but being sort of those opposite energies, like the day and the night, right? But even within each one, there's different flavors, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I feel like we have like the nurturing mother energy, but then we have hot girl summer energy.
Yeah,
so.
and you can be all. You can be all.
You are all of it.
Yes, you're every woman.
Worry.
It's all in you.
It's all in me.
So good.
So good.
That's the anthem.
Yes, no, definitely. That's our summer anthem.
That's the summer anthem.
Yeah.
It's like the summer anthem of 1985.
Like, you heard it here first. Like, no, you didn't. Heard that when you were 2.
Here first. All the moms are like, pretty sure no.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a classic. Never dies.
Sorry, Debbie. We're reviving it.
So, okay, no, I really am excited about all of that.
Yeah.
I think these are all super good
Same.
things.
Yeah.
And, okay, so now I feel like I need to brace myself for, we're going to
take a cleansing.
Yes, I'm going to drink some water here. We're going to get ready.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, so when I hear, well, okay.
Okay.
So when I told my daughters what this episode was.
Yes. Uh-huh.
My Cancer daughter goes, ew.
Yeah, she did that. She's Wednesday Addams.
Yes, well, she really kind of is. She's a Cancer Leo cusp. We will get to that.
We'll get to that.
And what did my other daughter say?
Capricorn daughter said, why?
Oh, yeah. My Capricorn daughter goes, why? So I said, yeah, we're doing Taurus-Gemini cusp. Why? Because we are.
Because it's a thing and it exists.
A thing and it's here. And we need to talk about it. And my suspicion is that we will come around by the end of this.
Yeah.
We will be loving on this cusp.
Yeah.
However, out the gate, not super feeling this one.
No, not really.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And like, okay, so also just right out the gate, I just want to say, like, when we talk about the astrological wheel, we liken it to a life cycle, and we are moving up through that timeline.
Yeah.
So we are now at the cusp of Taurus and Gemini, which really is like the middle school years.
Yeah,
And I feel like that is the vibe. It's like...
It is. That is so the vibe. Oh, that's such a good point.
It's like middle school.
It is. It is like middle school.
And you're growing and you're learning and you're trying things out and you're taking things in and you're all over the place and everyone around you is just like,
okay.
Like so much.
Just relax.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The trying things out, talking.
And yeah, so middle schooler, perpetual, and now, okay, perpetual adolescent, I think that can sound like an insult. I don't mean that as an insult, actually. No. But it's like somebody who's kind of in this phase of energy and communication and like forward motion, but also very awkward at times.
Yes, very awkward at times.
Because middle school is nothing if not awkward.
Yeah, that's the ultimate just slogan for middle school. You don't even need more words. Just the one word is sufficient.
The awkward years.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. And when I was doing my notes, that's what I kept thinking was like, this is just a lot. Oh, we will say, because if you haven't watched any of our other What the Cusp episodes.
Yeah, sorry.
Which you should, and they're there, and they're amazing. But if you haven't, just the caveat that we point out in every single one, you're not 50% of each sign when you're on the cusp, okay? We're not saying that. We never said that. Don't add us about this, okay? You have to say it because you know how people be.
I know.
So you are the sign that the sun was in at the precise time of your birth. However, there is not a hard cutoff. There is bleed over, and there is influence from the neighboring sign. That is just a fact. It is what it is. And your neighboring planets have that influence. So that is what we're talking about here when we're talking about cusp energy. If you have a further problem with it, take it up with somebody else.
Yeah, write to your congressman.
Write to a Taurus-Gemini cusper, and they'll just talk to you about it for 5 hours.
Yeah, and not listen to you either while they're doing it.
Yep.
Okay, it sounds like we have like some personal vendetta against this cusp, but I don't think that we do.
No.
I was racking my brain. I don't think I know anyone born in this. And you know what? Maybe that's why I feel this way, because I don't have like a personal person to
not
with.
really. I tangentially do know one person, but I don't know them very well. But I do know that there's a person I'm aware of that's around that has a birthday within this, and honestly doesn't seem like this person. So, that happens all the time.
Well, and so also just to sort of clarify and say, so the cusp period is not super defined, but it's just the few days before and the few days after the sun would go into Gemini in this case.
Yeah.
So that's like the 21st. And so this is happening, the 18th, 19th, 20th, around there up till a few days after.
Yeah, exactly.
Of May.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And it really does depend on if you're sort of in the latter part of it from the previous sign or the first part of it from the next one. Because that's a very strong energy when you're in the first sort of part of that sign. So, it varies and all that kind of stuff. But anyways.
Well, and so this is called the cusp of energy.
Right. Which, yeah.
And I think it goes.
So much energy.
And again, just back to that middle school kid. I just picture some kid running around.
Tons of energy.
Tons
Boundless energy.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the amount of energy that it takes to grow, like physically during that period, of the life cycle, and just the amount of energy, it's like input and output.
Oh, that's so true.
From those people.
Yeah, that's very true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting combination of things.
Yes. What's combining here?
We have all these different sort of elements and energies. So Taurus is obviously, I guess I shouldn't say obviously, but Taurus is an earth sign. So we have that grounded kind of earth energy, but ruled by Venus. Mm-hmm. And then Gemini is an air sign. Mm-hmm. So you have kind of that airy, nebulous energy
ruled by Mercury. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the convergence of those things is yikes.
Well, and it's super interesting because when I immediately think about how Earth would combine with air.
Yeah.
Just even the literal physical, world things.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I thought it was like a tornado. The wind coming in, kicking up dust and spinning it around. And I'm like, that feels really
That's
accurate.
Brilliant. I almost feel like we don't even need to say anything else.
That's it. We're done.
That's pretty perfect. That's an image. It defines it. I have nothing.
Yes.
Honestly.
Well,
that's amazing.
We have more. Don't worry.
We have more. But that just, you just killed it with that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely accurate. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. It's very interesting. It's like this kind of stable, grounded, energy, but coupled with the Gemini, also mutable, Taurus is fixed and Gemini is mutable. So coupled with that mutable, and Gemini being that curious mind that, that's so much. It's these ideas, but then that Gemini side brings in the curiosity to really have the energy to just explore all of it.
Totally. And I think also with Taurus being fixed, it just has that steady go ahead.
Yeah.
And then you mix in this mutable, air energy, and it's kind of it's going ahead, and it's also collecting everything while it's going. It's it's kind of the tornado thing again.
Yeah,
it's just
picking
that's
everything
true.
Picking things up. Cows, houses, cars,
landing on witches, whatever. Yes, I know.
Their feet are curling up.
Yes,
that always freaked me out. Side note.
Hello.
That image where it just curls up that.
Yes,
it's
so strange.
I know.
I love that though. Mm-hmm. Wizard of Oz is the bomb.
.com.
Okay, so also another thing to think about is so this cusp, because of the combining of these energies that you were talking about, is lacking fire, is lacking water.
Yes.
And so thinking about sort of maybe lacking in the emotional and sort of intuitive kind of energies, right?
Yeah, wow. That's like blowing my mind too, that you're pointing that out, because I'm thinking, obviously, like the water one initially lands with me. I'm like, oh yeah, there's like very little depth, right? And even your image of like the tornado, it's just skimming across, the surface and doing all this stuff, and there's like no depth. But the lack of fire too is like so interesting, because it's almost like burnout, because if there was fire to fuel it, it would have more longevity. But because it doesn't have that, even though a tornado is powerful, it's short-lived. So it's like going at this sort of surface level, and then it's just like boom, done.
Yes, I have frenetic pace written here.
Frenetic pace.
Yes.
Wow.
I think the other thing that we see is, and sort of thinking about like the person born in this cusp period, is because of the presence and then absence of, the different elements and qualities.
Yeah.
This person can tend to really intellectualize and sort of mull over their emotions cognitively, but without a lot of sensitivity or even self-awareness, which I think also sort of pulls in that Taurus quality of, not in a negative way, but that sort of lack of mature thinking outside of the self.
Absolutely. I feel like this person, there is a lot of emoting and a lot of expressing.
Yes, a lot of expressing out.
But yes, it's like without processing it first and thinking about what's coming out of their mouths.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh. I know. It's rough. So I'm starting to get like a grain of compassion. I have more than a grain, of compassion for this person, because...
Yeah, because it's rough to be a middle school kid, man.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
Everyone hates them.
And they hate themselves and each other.
They do. They really do. And it takes, like, I've taught them. It takes a special, not that I'm, like, calling myself a special person, but, like, it takes somebody to, like, really deal with that age group, because it's rough. Like, and even when I was working with them, I remember other people who were working with different age groups, just, like, they constantly scrutinized and criticized these kids. Like, every little thing they did, even when they were just being themselves, it was like, well, why are they doing that? Or why are they being so loud? Or why are they... And I'm like, because they're 12? Yeah. I don't really know how else to explain it, Janet. Like, they're 12.
That's how they are.
That's how they are. They're not doing it as a personal affront to you. They're just being... Maybe that's what we need. They're not doing it as a personal affront.
No. That's just how they are.
They're just being themselves.
I know. Well, and I'm sorry, like... As a human of any age above the age of 12, you were 12 once.
Yeah, you were 12.
And maybe, like, you want to think you weren't like that.
You were.
And you probably were.
You were annoying. Trust.
Yes. Ask your mom. You were annoying.
My God. I know I was annoying. I have, like, memories. I have times where in the moment I was like, no one gets this and I'm brilliant. And I look back on it and I was like, annoying.
Yes. No.
That was so stupid. Why did I do that?
I know. It's so hard.
Yeah. And I had big brothers to point out that I was being annoying.
Yeah, I was going to say
they had no problem, like, doing that and really, like, cutting the legs out from under me.
Yeah.
But I think I think there needs to be a healthy balance of that. Maybe someone, like, not to be mean, but to kind of cut the legs out from under people like this a little bit every so often, just to be like, you're not as funny and special and everything as you think you are. You need to stop. Because I know it helped me.
Okay, but what about advice for these poor people who are dealing with this? Like,
okay, yes, no, well, I don't know. Be yourself. It's okay.
Right, obviously, it's okay.
Totally contradictory. Someone needs to let you know that you're annoying, and then also don't listen to them.
Yes, exactly.
When
someone tells you that, don't listen.
You're just being yourself.
Be yourself. You do you, girl. You do you, boo-boo. You do
I don't know. It's very confusing because they're probably confused. And honestly, I'm like putting myself in the... That's why I said that, because I'm putting myself in the shoes of like an educator that's worked with that age group. It vacillated between those two things all the time. I'd be like, I love these. They're so funny and cute and amazing. They say the funniest stuff and they just can't even help but be themselves, and it's so cute. And then
but then like a minute later,
I'd be like, oh my God, why did I make this decision? I need out of here.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I know.
But I think because I appreciated but also held them accountable in those ways, I think that's the right approach when you're dealing with someone with this energy. And if you have this energy, I don't know what advice to give them.
Well, so, okay,
You say it.
I have some sparks of compassion, like I said. So my advice to you folks, if you're there still watching after all of this, they're like, we didn't watch this. Oh my God.
After minute 1, they were like, this is not a safe space for me. Sad.
And now I feel like my advice is going to sound horrible, and it's not. Okay, my advice is limit yourself. Don't wait for someone to impose limits on you. Limit yourself. Learn to relax and to explore things with depth and with patience instead of with that frenetic energy. Because that truth is, if you don't limit yourself, other people will want to limit you because they'll be annoyed.
Yeah, they'll be annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because potentially...
And I hope that sounded like...
No,
nice.
that's amazing. I mean, that's the therapist talking. Like, that's amazing advice. That's so important, and anybody can take that advice, but...
True.
Anybody. But particularly, yes, I feel... Because I really do think it is such a dynamic... Obviously, it's the cusp of energy. It's a dynamic...
It is
combo, and I feel like people... You mentioned the thing about them being... what did you say? Not intellectual. What did you say? They explore like kind of intellectual... Cognitively, and there is sort of that like intellectual pursuit, right? I feel like that's Gemini, right? They do like to kind of like be curious-minded and think about a lot of different things, a lot of different perspectives. Coupled with that... Taurus need to be very sort of deliberate in their thinking and acting and effective, right? Like Taurus is there's not a lot of fluff. Like they're effective. I feel like those two things combined together would mean a person, if it's something they're interested in, a person who is so well versed and so well informed and so like just like a person who would know a lot about something in a very interesting, dynamic way. I would want to hear that person, whatever the topic is that they're passionate about, talk about that topic.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that that's sort of like an elegant combination of that. But I think sometimes, again, people have conflict in these cusp periods. And so they might rely too heavily on one or the other. And maybe that's almost what we're seeing in this frenetic energy, is people bouncing between these energies that they're trying to hold on to both of, even though there's conflict.
Yes, and I see it going both ways, because I think what we've been focused on talking about like the last couple minutes is them just kind of talking and emoting and all this stuff, like outwarding and all this stuff. But I feel like, that Taurus energy of wanting to relax and chill and like be on the couch and stuff, I feel like that can also be like an extreme with people on this cusp, where like overindulgence in like withdrawing or substances or whatever.
Because they kind of burn themselves out with all of that energy and then just really retreat all the way back into that Taurus space.
And maybe don't know how, because like you said, you should start practicing those boundaries and limiting yourself. But if you haven't done that effectively, then that backswing to that energy is like, well, how do I come down? Well, the only way I know how to do that is if I ingest something or I do something kind of, to like force.
Yeah, like numb out because their brain is so on.
Which that can be a really big problem. I can see that being a problem.
Yeah, no, it's really true. And so I think, another thing, just again, like I think I already said this, but just to sort of reiterate, maybe we've all been there in terms of like showing up this way. And so we have to remember what that's like.
It's so important. And I'm so glad that you said that, because that is the key difference between being able to really empathize with someone, understand someone, especially middle school kids, like literal middle school kids.
And
you have to remember.
How many of us have wounds from our 12, 13-year-old selves that we still carry as adults? And how many of us had like our creativity or our dreams or our interests squashed at that age because they weren't cool, weren't accepted? So you have to be really careful, I feel like, with
That's
these souls.
so accurate. Like, it's not a phase, Mom.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
exactly.
so accurate. And if you really allow yourself back into that space, like, you will feel that. I mean, I feel that so much because that was so me and continues to be me. That's still definitely part of me. And that opens up when people treat me certain ways. And like, I think that's why I have like the empathy that I do for people that are like this and can like deal with it more because of that. Like, I remember acutely what it was like to be that age or moments that I've been this combination of energies.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And just imagine if this was sort of your default way of being most of the time.
Aww.
Like your whole life.
That was so patronizing what I just did.
No, well, but I don't think you did mean it.
I didn't mean it to be that way. It is like dawning on me because that always happens when we do this. So it's like dawning on me and I'm like, oh yeah, that's so true.
I know, but I do think it is an awkward cusp and it's a tough combination of energy. All of the cusps, again, have conflict. They're all tough combinations. It's going from one energy to another and sort of intermingling them. But so normally I look up birthdays and stuff, you know, to kind of people who seem to represent the energy or like embody that. It was really tough. There were not a lot. I mean, yes, there was a ton of people born all the time, right? But there weren't a lot of people born during this cusp period. That stood out in any real way.
Interesting. Okay.
So the few that I came up with, which I do think are good ones, one of them is Socrates.
Oh. Well, yeah, that makes
which
a lot
I
of
think
sense.
is super interesting because he was clearly pulling in that Taurus energy of being like, you know, he taught like Aristotle or Plato and taught Aristotle and like went through like the Socratic questioning. Like this is like the foundation of like education and philosophy and like what we still use today.
Absolutely.
So from that Taurus space, that grounded space
Very
of
much.
like, you know, kind of this sage person.
And a framework and
Yes. But then obviously bringing that communication and that intellectual element to it, like in a really new way that like advanced humanity. So, okay, you can't like discount that person.
Not at all.
So I thought that was really interesting and kind of how those energies clearly combined with him. Malcolm X is another one.
Oh, wow. How fascinating.
Notorious B.I.G. is another one. And I found like there was I felt like there is some connection between the two of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, that felt...
And it felt really right that they were both in this cusp period.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
You know, like clearly vocal, using their voices from a very grounded place of, you know, exposing like, you know, racism, oppression. I mean, even Notorious B.I.G., like, I'm sorry, like, you know, he was out there talking about a lot of real shit.
Absolutely.
And killed at young age, both of them.
Yes.
Like young black men at, you know. So anyway, I thought that was somehow interesting.
Absolutely. And it also makes me think of too, like you said, the Taurus energy and then like the Gemini energy, but also Taurus being ruled by Venus and just that passion with all of the people that you mentioned and that creativity and that passion coming from that ruling planet is so evident.
Absolutely. And
I feel like that's another thing that I didn't even think of before you said this, like that combination of that like Venus ruling with that commitment and then the Mercury with the communication, like that is a person who gets shit done, and that seems like a pretty good partner.
Exactly. And if you think about that frenetic energy being directed towards a cause or a place, and you know, having somewhere to go with that, and just how powerful that can be.
Very much so.
And they're going to get shit done. They're going to get the word out.
Yes.
They're going to, you know.
They're going to get the word out.
Yes.
Word up.
Yes, exactly. Another one, just quickly to mention, because I love her, is Priscilla Presley.
Oh, I mean, come on.
So
that's amazing.
Like, literally not sure how she embodies all of this energy, because I don't know her, but I don't see on the surface that she does.
I know.
But I just love her, and so I wanted to mention her.
Yeah. I love her too, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just goes to show you there's all kinds of different factors with environment and everything else that contributes to how people act outwardly. But maybe, you know, inside, you know, that's what she... And I mean, think
That's
about
true.
what amazing, like we just said, like that combo makes you such an amazing partner because you have that commitment, at that passion, but also you're a good communicator. So you'd be able to and work with communicating with anybody, even difficult people who you were partnered with.
Well, yes, and in terms of her, and you have to think about, you know, yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
So.
And all the other different energies relating to the person that she's partnering with and their partnerships and relationships with other people, which may or may not have been very weird.
And having to stay like really firm and steady in that Taurus energy while maintaining open and communicative with that Gemini. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. Love her.
Brilliant.
She can do no wrong in my
Agreed.
book. And gorgeous. Anyway, so those were sort of, you know, the best representations that, you know, I came across that I wanted to mention.
I think that's amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. So
I'm amazed.
this was a journey, I feel like, with Taurus Gemini edition.
Yeah, we felt some type of way. Now I feel some other type of way.
I do. I feel lots of type of way. And ironically, we've said a lot, but I don't really know what to say.
I don't either. Because we're not Taurus-Gemini Cusp, so we don't know what to say. But they would know.
They would know. We need them.
Oh, we need them.
Yeah.
We clearly need them.
Yeah, probably more than we want to admit.
We thought, see, we don't know everything. We're just dumb witches.
That's right. Yes. So on that note, until next time,
stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.
Dumb Witch Club is written and produced by us, Ashley Sidner.
And Jackie Gerard at the Dumb Witch Clubhouse in Orange County, California.
Produced and edited by Matt Heinemeyer. Creative Director and Culture Consultant, Violet Turner.
Original music by Ashley Sidner. And look us up on all your favorite social media platforms, including Patreon.
Until next time, stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.